on is just to click these buttons and just every time someone speaks, just literally just do this. That's your only job from now on until like this gets perfect. We need this perfect. Just literally as if someone says you gotta switch because it looks so good when we did it on Friday.
Okay.
So you just click through here and just
Chris. Jackson, you hear me?
You.
Nice. Is that a fucking linebacker jersey of some kind? Who is that?
Yeah, it is a
Alrighty,
linebacker.
here we
Is it Clay
are.
Matthews?
No,
Is it AJ Hawk?
it is AJ Hawk.
That's kind of cliche.
Jackson, can you hear me?
Yeah,
What are you doing today, buddy?
I would love nothing more than to go right back to that.
Damn.
What?
All right, starting the recording in
Alrighty, here we are, guys.
3,
Today we got
2,
a little
1.
fun-filled show. Of course, we got to start. Do I hear a clock? I thought I heard an alarm, but either way, the Grizzlies and Bismack Biyombo won last night. Bilal Coulibaly looks legit, but of course, the man on the thumbnail, Alperen Şengün and the Houston Rockets are on a 6-game win streak. And yeah, is your clock going off?
Yeah, you do hear an alarm. That's me.
Yeah, you want to check it out. But with that being said, the Clippers suck. They're 0-4 in the Los Angeles Clippers James Harden era. The Dallas Mavericks defense and just in general seem pretty good. Their defense isn't anything other world. Well, what did you take away? We can start with the Rockets because I know you're an Alpy boy. Jackson,
What?
have you not been listening?
I am. I'm right here.
Oh, dude,
You
I
can't see me.
I know, but you're in the back. But I just told you. I just asked you. What do you think? We'll start off with Alperen Şengün and the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, your mic's hurts my ears, but
Like a lot too strong.
yeah.
Okay, tell me that.
What's up, Cozy? How you doing?
See, like right now, you would switch it.
You out here?
Time someone talks, switch. While you're doing nothing more, nothing less. You don't need to do anything else except switch, Henry.
And do your absolute best.
Is this better sounding? Jackson, audio. How does it sound?
No.
Huh? Bad?
Yes.
Okay.
Bro, you never say anything hopeful and you just say it's bad. You're just like, this sucks. Or,
What about now? I'm clipping. I can
Ooh,
see
yeah,
it.
there we go.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice.
How about now? Perfect?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, sorry about that, guys. We'll just get right into the Alperen Şengün Houston Rockets talk. And that is Alperen Şengün's averaging 19.5 points, 8 rebounds, I think it's 4 assists a night, and like a block and a steal. So we always knew that, people coming out or coming into the NBA were comparing him to like Kevin Love, which is like really weird to see at this point. I mean, maybe young Kevin Love, fat boy Kevin Love, but Houston Rockets fan. You started the season out 0-3. We were making fun that the Rockets were not going to be as good as we thought they were, and I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think, Jackson? The 6-game win streak, you just beat the defending champs. How do you feel? Obviously, GOAT life.
Yeah, obviously GOAT life is how I feel. I feel great. I love it. I think they're so good. I think they're going to make the playoffs very clearly.
What do you notice different about this team in comparison to last year?
They're pretty good at defense. I think they're one of 4 teams now that have a positive plus and minus.
Net rating.
Yeah. But I love it. Şengün, Penguin Sengun.
Is that what his
Great.
nickname is? The Penguin?
No. No.
Why Penguin? It's not even like rhyming with Şengün.
I don't know. It's just what my buddy Arjun calls him.
Penguin.
If you say Sengun, Penguin Sengun.
Sengun.
That's just not how you say
Penguin.
his last name.
But
If you can beat the defending champions with Jalen G Green 4, going
scoring 9
1-13.
points.
Cyril, you lower your camera slightly. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, first off, Fred VanVleet had 26. Dylan Brooks was the fourth leading scorer with 10, and
Uncle Jeff had 15 off the bench. I mean, their bench had 31 points in total, which is fucking fantastic. I don't think they had 31 points off the bench in like since the James Harden era.
Yeah, combined.
Yeah, combined.
I know we're like the Raptors. I think getting Tari Eason back healthy was beautiful. Uncle Jeff was very nice last night. Put up like 14 in the fourth. Jacques Landale sucks, but I think he'll figure it out eventually. And yeah, even guys deeper down, Aaron Holiday. I mean, Reggie Bullock doesn't play, but it's a good deep team. Jay Sean Tate.
It's kind of amazing that Reggie Bullock would come there because you'd think he'd have some kind of promise of a role, and for him to be essentially buried on the bench. Strange in hindsight.
You're quite quiet, but I feel like you said it's weird. Reggie Bullock's on the Rockets.
No role, yeah, that he would come there to be buried.
It is very, and it happened like right before the season started.
Touching the
It
wrong
was
cables,
just-
but
He said I was black.
yeah, you were touching these ones. How does Henry sound louder now? Henry, talk.
Henry, H is in hot dog. E
Is that better?
Emery.
Yeah, it's better.
N is
Okay.
in
What was the first two words you said?
hot
Me?
dog.
No,
Ooh.
Henry.
What I find interesting about this Rockets team is definitely the fact that Ime Udoka has like this team mixed with okay, like you said, the starting line: Jabari Smith, Alperen Şengün, Jalen Green. Then you throw in two vets, Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet. And then when we go to the bench, you know, Tari Eason was back, but like Jeff Green's kind of the sixth man. You got a little sprinkling of who else was off the bench. Dude, I didn't really notice Amen. He's not playing, right?
Ankle sprain.
That's what I thought. Okay. I was like, I swear I didn't see Amen on there. How long is that ankle sprain for? Was it like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Jackson?
I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's a multi-week absence starting
Okay.
a week ago-ish.
So yeah, they have I think a great mix of young and old dudes who know their role. Do I think they're going to be a top 3 seed in the West? No. I could see them being at worst a play-in team potentially, but I could see this if they continue to go on the streak. This is a team that easily could be the 6th seed. I think that's
I mean,
what they should.
Why can't we be the 3 seed?
I just have the Denver Nuggets, the Golden State Warriors,
Jamal Murray.
Phoenix Suns, Jamal
Warriors suck
Murray.
right now.
Like,
Bradley Beal, Devin Booker.
there's just a handful of teams that, like, 4 or 5 teams I would put in front of them that, like, are actually.
I know. I understand that they're not the third best team in the West, but Jamal Murray's already injured. Devin Booker's already injured. Bradley Beal gets injured what would you say, every other 10 days?
Okay, but it's a
The
false
Clippers are going to load
expectation
manage.
for you to
Golden
say.
State looks terrible right now when they play big teams. They're going to get
But you
wrecked.
need to know it yourself. It's false expectations and it's false hope by saying.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, it's certainly in the cards. Every single year,
Maybe
there's
next
a team
year.
that there's. I mean, no, I get what you mean, and I think that you could say the same thing about the Magic or Indiana is my argument here, where I'm saying there's going to be a team every single year that just pops out of nowhere. It feels like that is the 3rd or 4th seed, or they get a good seed. I mean, that was.
I just don't think I mean, give me another month of basketball with the Rockets, and I'll give you a more honest take. But let's compare them to the Sacramento Kings last year, Jackson, for your surprise team. And I can't even remember. I'm pretty sure they had a hot start to the year. They were one of the best teams at the start of the year.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's happened?
You lost him on Zoom for a minute. He's good.
I
Okay.
just have bad internet, apparently.
So you remember last year?
Sacramento was the 3rd seed, and then Memphis was the 3rd seed the year before.
Oh, Memphis was 2nd seed for the last 2 years running. We can't use Memphis. Memphis isn't.
I just did.
No, Memphis. I didn't say Memphis. I have not said Memphis at all. I don't know why you didn't. I did not bring Memphis. Shut the fuck up and let me say what I was going to say. We're
Well, I was
comparing the
saying-
Houston Rockets to the Sacramento Kings, Who the Sacramento
Memphis
Kings?
Grizzlies.
No, I never compared them to the Memphis Grizzlies because they're not the fucking same.
But I compared them to
They're
the
not
Memphis
the same.
Grizzlies.
They're not the same because this
They're
Memphis.
not the Kings either. What are you getting all upset about?
You just said there's one surprise team a year. Last year was the
Yes.
Kings. Okay.
Yes, and the year before was the Grizzlies.
No, it wasn't because the Grizzlies were a play-in team the year before. You can't be a fucking
It's still a
surprise team if you made it to the
surprise.
fucking play. It wasn't. We all knew they were going to go there.
You don't. This is retarded. Henry,
It's not
can we-
retarded.
Henry, what are your thoughts on this? Because
We all
this
knew
is,
that the Grizzlies were
this
going to
is
take the
retarded.
jump because they fucking had the jump already when they made it to the play-in.
But you don't think, oh yeah, lock
Yes,
them
you
in.
do.
as
You
two.
literally go, this team just got older and they got more talent. They're going to be a top 4 seed. That was, like, everyone knew they
I don't
weren't
think
going to
that
be
was-
a play-in team. That was just
I don't
common
think that's
basketball
common.
sense.
I don't think that's common basketball thinking.
Yes, it is. If you make the play-in and you're a young team, like the Grizzlies are how we saw the Thunder this year. Okay, if the Thunder make it as a 6th seed, that's not a surprise. They made the fucking play-in last year.
Yeah, but maybe some of you guys are saying OKC is the 3 seed, but none of you are actually predicting Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be the 3rd seed. Nobody's actually putting that down in writing.
Because
And if you are, it's rare, which is the whole
I don't-
point about Sacramento and Memphis and Houston. That's the point.
there's no point there. I'm just saying
That is
that
the point. It's a fully
at
logical
the end of the day,
point.
like especially with like the modern NBA, I mean, you being the 3 seed doesn't mean anything because that could be like a 1-win difference. It's really, if you're the 1st seed, I feel like is the biggest thing because you could be the 2nd seed and literally have a 2-win difference between the 6th seed and the 2nd seed because there's so many other circumstances that like your conference win-loss record. You could have the same record
That's
as
my
somebody.
point.
Well, going against your point because you being the 2nd or 3rd seed doesn't mean anything because you could have a very similar record to the 6th seed. It really means if you're the 1st seed. If
It's literally what I said. That's what I prefaced the whole take on.
No,
is
you just told me you were trying to
No.
compare them to the Memphis Grizzlies as if
I am
Memphis
comparing them to the Memphis Grizzlies and the Sacramento Kings because they've won 6 straight basketball games and they clearly are a good basketball
No,
team.
I'm comparing
And what
Memphis,
I'm saying
take
is you
Memphis
get
out of the
teams.
equation here, and we're talking about
Oh my
they're a
goodness.
surprise team like the Sacramento Kings that last year, if you put in, nobody would have said the Sacramento Kings were going to be a playoff
Yes.
team. Okay,
And the reason that the Houston Rockets can be the 3 seed outside of the fact that they're a good roster is because of load management and injuries and regular season basketball. LeBron James is not going to be playing against Pool Party, trying to play 42 minutes a night. These guys are going to be managed.
I mean, I just think it's
and the Rockets are young. They're not.
I just think it's a completely different circumstances that they're in because
I'm not
first off,
comparing these teams. We don't have a John Morant. We don't have a Darren Fox. I'm not trying to compare
well, I don't
our
know why you
roster
keep
to
comparing
these
for the
teams.
Grizzlies, so I'm going to ignore the
Because
Grizzlies thing. Because the
this
thing
is
I'm gonna
driving
talk
me
about the
crazy.
Sacramento
Henry,
Kings with the
do you
De'Aaron
see what
Fox and
I'm getting
DeMontis
at here?
Sabonis and Harrison
Nobody's
Barnes and-
comparing
Well, let me
rosters.
finish this. When you look at the way that the teams were constructed, okay, there was a lot more continuity going on with the Sacramento Kings that they had actually played together for at least a year or at least a few months before. I mean, here you have like half the roster is young that played together and the other half are vets. And I think they're going to be potentially a playoff team. I think a 6th seed, but I think it's honestly a lot where it's a false fantasy for us to be like, oh, they're going to be the 30 seed because of load management. No, that's not how things work. It's if they're going to be a top team, it's because they're going to shore up their defense or they're going to continue to evolve offensively, which right now they're having games where they're holding teams to low 100 points, which is like the right way to do this, and it's looking like they're going to use their linchpin is going to be defense, and that's how they're going to get there, which does translate more to wins. But obviously the big question is, will their offense be able to carry them? We don't know. When you have a game like you beat the Denver Nuggets, it's awesome that you beat them, but the fact that your bench at 31 points is huge, but can you rely on that every given night when only 2 of your players are giving you 20 plus points? So like there's questions there that I think in other things and other teams that had surprises, they had more better top talent on the roster. They were more top heavy.
The Golden State Warriors did Saric drop 20 this weekend? Because if he didn't, no player on the Golden State Warriors has dropped 20 other than Stephen Curry. But I get it. We don't have Steph Curry and we don't have.
I don't know
De'Aaron
why you
Fox.
bring the Golden State Warriors in this when we weren't talking about Warriors.
Oh my goodness gracious! You're driving me insane here. Nobody's calling the 30-win Sacramento Kings of 2021 and saying, you know what? I think they're gonna be. I think they're gonna finally break their
But that's
playoff
this is the whole
record. And I'm
reason
gonna
we're here
put
is
all
because
the
you
money
started
on it.
the argument saying that there's always one surprise team that's a second
Yes.
seed in the NBA, and you're saying that's going to be the Houston
Well, I said
Rockets. So then
3 or
I
4.
compared, I came back and I compared them to last year's team, and now you're telling me
And yes,
that's getting you mad because I'm comparing them to the exact situation that you put them in the scenario.
no, you're.
Okay.
I understand you're trying to
Let
get
me
upset
take
that
this,
the Grizzlies won 33 games and then that nobody was, or 38 games, and nobody was surprised that they could, be the 3 seed, which is wrong. And yeah, my argument makes perfect sense here. So let's hear it, Henry.
I mean, you're just essentially saying that teams make large jumps.
For no reason, it just happened.
Yeah.
No, it
But then I'm
doesn't. Yeah,
giving you
there's
my
like
reasons.
sustainable growth.
The writing is on the wall sometimes. Like you can see young teams like Memphis when they play in the play-in, or OKC when they play in the play-in. It's writing on the wall that they'll grow from there. But Jackson's other example with the Kings is that sometimes it does like shock people. I think some are more surprising, and some the writing is on the wall. I think the Rockets would be one of the more like the Rockets would fit more in the category with the Kings than the Grizzlies.
Well,
As,
I don't know
shocking
because
rise, and that's why being a 3 seed would be unrealistic for them.
I think first off, they spent all this money, so if they weren't a good team, it would just be like they're a fucking terrible franchise if they spent all this money in free agency. So you'd hope spending almost 200 million in free agency would translate to wins. So I think that's where we can't compare them to Sacramento because Sacramento's biggest free agent signing when Mike Brown came over was Malik Monk. They didn't sign anyone. They kept the same
I feel
team.
like I think you're looking way too much into the
I'm
logistics of this.
It's because one is the Rockets bought a team, brought in Ime Udoka, and Ime Udoka's first sentence in his press conference was, "We're going to make the playoffs." How is it surprising that you're a good team now when Ime Udoka said, "We're going to make the playoffs. My goal is not like to rebuild." He said we are literally going to be a playoff team this year. I don't have a gap year. So for me, I'm not surprised this was expected. Okay, that they were going to be a good defensive team. They're probably going to be a 6th or 5th. I think it's more like. You spent money. Okay, if you didn't spend money, and it didn't work out. Raphael Stone was going to get fired, and everybody, you know what I mean? It was going to be a failed experiment. That's why everyone also got 1 or 2 year deals, so it was easy to move on from the players if this didn't work.
Raphael gets fired regardless of who they sign or don't sign, just based on how this season goes. And I also forgot that we paid for and bought Şengün and Green and Jabari and Tari and Amen.
Yeah, I mean, you only played 3 of those dudes. Tari just came back, but the thing is you're really playing the vets. You're winning your games. Dylan Brooks is a huge part of this. Fred VanVleet is a huge part of this. All right.
Well, all those guys play it right, except for Amen Thompson.
I mean, first off, Jalen Green 9 points. Wow, that made a huge difference.
But
10 points from Jabari. I mean, I'm just telling you.
Did they play?
It goes on. Yeah, they did play, but I'm telling you, at least half the roster that's playing has been brought on. Okay, and when you compare them to the Sacramento Kings, they were a team that had already a continued whole piece of the roster. So the roster with the Sacramento Kings, when you compare it, again, they only brought in Malik Monk, and they brought themselves as well as, I'm trying to think if because they had the Davion Mitchell, they had traded for Domantas Sabonis already.
None of this is the point.
Alex Lynn was already there. So really, I guess Keegan Murray and Malik Monk were their biggest acquisitions. While I sit right here and I think, okay, they brought in Jock Landale, Reggie Bullock, Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet,
doesn't play, Landale doesn't play.
Who I feel like Ime Udoka. And they had this whole new set. I mean, literally new whole roster. And I mean, so for me, it does make complete sense when we compare, to not compare them to the Kings because it's completely different situations and roster constructions. Because again, Mike Brown came in. Also, the owner of the Kings is obsessed with the Warriors. He does everything the Warriors does because he's the former minor owner of the Warriors. But I mean, the whole thing with Houston Rockets. Kelly Iko of The Athletic said that the owner of the Rockets had Ime Udoka hired and splurged in free agency because when he bought the team, it was right at the beginning of the James Harden era, and the owner became basically enthralled with losing, and he only knew the James Harden era, so he basically gave a mandate to Raphael Stone. This is according to Kelly Iko, that they had to turn like that he was done rebuilding, that he didn't want to have another losing season, that like they had to have a playoff year this year because he was done with losing. But Alpi, who's better, Sabonis or Alpi? In your opinion, is Jackson frozen?
No, I think you just angered him gradually.
Yeah, this is just the most retarded thing I've. It's like last weekend. Like this will be the dumbest thing I've heard all day. But, I haven't really watched many Kings games this year, so I don't know. But I'm gonna go with Şengün, but I'm pretty oblivious.
I just always forget Sabonis is like 7'1".
I think he's 6'10".
7'1". Me and Henry had this conversation like a month ago, and we searched up. He's listed 7'1".
It's alarming.
Yeah, it's like
It
weird.
does
So
feel like he's 6'10".
it does feel like
Look
he's
at
six.
how he play.
Yeah, but like I will say, there's some places that do list him at 7 foot,
It's so weird.
and some places list him at 6'11". But then on like official websites, he's listed at 7'1", which is like I agree. We all like me when I think Henry was also kind of surprised. Like he does, like that was a great way Henry put it. That like he plays like he's 6'10". It's weird to think about that he's 7'1". Yeah, it kind of like puts everything, like makes you like think about it a little, like 10% less impressive.
Yeah.
Because you're like, damn, shouldn't you be a little bit better because you're taller than Jokic then?
Which Şengün is still growing also. Isn't he like approaching 7 feet? Isn't he?
I thought
6'9" and
Shig-
change?
I thought that was a
You're saying he
meme.
grew.
I thought that was a meme that Şengün grew because what's his face grew. And
Possible. It could be a meme. He said it at media day, which could still be a meme.
who was the one that they were making a meme, Jackson, this summer, that when somebody grew, they were like, this guy grew to 7 foot, and it was like a meme.
I have no idea.
Either way, no, Alperen Şengün, when he came into the draft, I actually looked at this last night. He was measured in at 6'8" with a 6'10" wingspan.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
6'8".
He's grown a lot since then. That is for sure. He's tacked out a few inches.
Yeah.
Let me see what he's listed at on the summer league, or not summer league, just the websites. And Şengün is currently listed at 6'11" on NBA.com. He's listed at 6'11" on ESPN, 6'11" on Wiki, 6'9" on Basketball Reference. Six Man dropped the video. Did you see that? Alperen Şengün's not your average center.
He'll probably get 300,000 views.
I think he already has like 100,000.
You can make videos like that really easily because you know how to edit basketball videos.
Yeah, but like I don't know where they get the highlights because they don't use traditional highlights. They use like the highlights that are like fancy highlights, like
Yeah.
that there's no like score. Like how like our highlights we have the score and shit. They have like as if it's like some camera guy on the side taking like
Yeah.
bougie cinematography esque like highlights. Where do you
They're
get
the
those?
highlights. Yeah, they're the highlights that you get like before it goes to commercial break, and they're like highlighting
Yeah,
the play
no,
that just
great way to
happened.
put it. It's those highlights, and he has like a 15-minute, and they never repeat. It's like all like so. Like
Yeah.
it seems like he spends like 4 hours just digging up the most beautiful highlights.
I know. Yeah, I don't know where you even find that.
Do you agree with me though? What I'm
Flow
talking about? Like it's not like highlights that you and I have. It's like legit, like you said, the outro of like when you're going to commercial break, and they have the slow cinematography of the lob and shit, and you're like,
Yeah. Is it Sinners?
no, I don't. Synergy doesn't do that. Synergy gives us the same as what we look
And
at.
where the hell are they getting these angles?
My only thought is he's watching like thousands upon thousands of like highlight reels, and he's just clipping all the fucking when they do the slow-mo repeats.
That sounds miserable.
That's what I'm saying. It's fucking miserable. Like I have more of a life to do that.
Yeah,
Like,
but you could also post one of those a week and make
no, yeah, I know.
10 grand.
No, right now I have a big project that I'm like gonna do today. I have a book that has like every play in basketball, like basic basketball play constructs, and I'm gonna like photo scan it and then take it on PDF, and I was gonna like make a video like based on this book, and then I have another video based on the book called The NBA 15 Years Ago.
Nice.
But okay, so let's move over to Bilal Coulibaly. 18 points. Dude, this guy fucking looks legit. I made a video saying that like the Wizards need, like, at the very least, this guy's floor is all defensive potential. The ceiling is, we could really have a guy who could follow the same footsteps as Jaylen Brown. Doesn't have much of a half court offense slash ball handling, but it shows natural touch from three, but isn't a consistent shooter. If he figures that all out, he could like slowly year by year be a guy who like chips away at ice like Jaylen Brown. What are your thoughts on that? I actually felt really proud about my like Jaylen Brown. I mean, different athletes, but similar style. They come in defensive first athlete guys.
Bilal is a total off-ball player right now, but I think in the sense of like the handle and like the creation for others being the key growth points, Jaylen Brown is a pretty good comp.
Yeah, and it's like how Jaylen Brown, every single year he got better. Like the first year they were like, hey, you're going to play because you're a really good defender and you can kind of play off ball, and we're just going to like, tell you to highlight those, just to keep working on that this season, and then the off season work on the ball handling. And like every year Jaylen Brown got better at ball handling, and what did that lead to? Him being able to create a little bit for himself more and more. And I think if they can do that, just slowly spoonful, like what is it called, slowly feed Bilal spoonful at a time. I feel like I'm saying this wrong, but like
Spoon feed.
spoon feed. Sorry, thank you. Spoon feed. Thank you. We need to spoon feed Bilal Coulibaly, similar to how the Boston Celtics were able to spoon feed Jaylen Brown offense.
Well, and even how the Pacers rookie year spoon-fed Paul George, who was not the shooter or creator.
That's a great point. I forgot about like Paul George when he came out. He was just kind of like a defensive like energy guy, really in the same vein of Bilal. Just like he was just on a better. Both the only difference is that Bilal's on a way worse team than both the Pacers and Celtics were when George and Brown.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Bilal can be as fluid as PG became with his frame, because he kind of has more like gangly, skinny frame to me, which will help his defensive repertoire. But
I think his athleticism is more Terrence Ross than Jaylen Brown. You know what I mean? Because you said that lankiness. I think Jaylen Brown's more of a power athlete.
Yes, and Paul George really has a very like thick power
Yeah,
frame as well.
that's why I think he's more. I think Bilal's in that Terrence Ross, Shaden Sharp athleticism tree. Does that make sense? Where they're like I think Bilal is probably closer to Terrence Ross. I mean, I think he's in there where they're like more fluid. They don't look like they're never gonna be the thickest boys on the block, but like they're gonna be like same thing with Andrew Wiggins. I think Bilal's in that Andrew Wiggins, Shaden Sharp, Terrence Ross athleticism, where like people forget fucking Andrew Wiggins is like one of the most, or I don't know if he still has it, but when he came out into the NBA, he's probably like one of the most athletic people in the league.
Yeah. Well, shit, the Andrew Wiggins dunk compilation is excellent. That dude is still pretty bouncy.
Yeah, so I think Bilal has very similar athleticism to Andrew Wiggins. I think I'm gonna compare it to that. I still think Andrew is way more like Kansas. Andrew Wiggins is a
And
fucking
you're talking in terms of pure athleticism.
just pure athleticism. Like the style of athleticism is more what I'm talking about. Like we're comparing him to Jaylen Brown. Bilal's not a Jaylen Brown, Paul George athlete. He's more of an Andrew Wiggins, Terrence Ross athlete, is what I'm saying.
Would you say that he is also? I'm trying to think of other athletic comps. I think he even like has somewhat like Jaden McDaniel's movement upside. I don't know if his foot speed is like that though. Like that's kind of how I really would envision.
I thought
Bilal
my
to be an awesome defender.
Bilal's Coulibaly's foot speed is like that. That's why I'm giving him this credit. He's like on the open court, like only De'Aaron Fox and a handful of guys are probably faster than Bilal
But the
Coulibaly.
athletic body types you're naming a second guard dudes that I can't really defend. Like Wiggins is now able to defend.
Is now able or not able?
Is now able. But like Shane Sharp and Terrence Ross, they didn't have foot speed to be defenders.
Well, what's it called? That's just because of their style of play. But like historically, Shaden Sharp and Terrence Ross have the same body. I mean, Terrence Ross, Shaden Sharp, Andrew Wiggins all have the Wesley Johnson body archetype, is what I say. Is they're these 6'7" lanky wings, and that they come into the NBA as like athletes or defensive guys, depending on like what their upbringing was. And literally, if you read all their scouting profiles, they will say this: defensive potential is there because of their length and athleticism. All of them will get that. And the only one, like Wiggins figured it out, Wesley Johnson figured it out later in his career. And, Shaden Sharp, if you look at his scouting reports, it's saying like the defensive effort is not there, but with his length and athleticism, he has the skill sets to be a high level defender. Likewise, Terrence Ross. So I think that's more of a mindset thing. But yeah, no, I think Jaden McDaniels was a good comparison. I just think Jaden's a little bigger. I think
Yeah.
Jaden's 6'10".
Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
more getting at the 6'7" guys, you know what I mean? Because it's this 6'7" frame where you have long ass arms. Like Wesley Johnson's another great comparison. I feel like I fucking forgot about Wesley.
Yeah, those more wing prototypes are better examples, better comparisons for both.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's where we're with Bilal is like where I see it is like he's either gonna like if he doesn't figure it out offensively, like this guy has all defense. Like I don't even care. Like if he doesn't figure out how to score regularly or dribble, the guy's gonna be like all defense. That's like how good he can be. But if he figures offensively, he could literally be like OG Anunoby. That's another OG Anunoby, dude.
Yeah, yep,
That's another one. OG Anunoby is like kind of what he could become.
yeah. That might even be my favorite.
Yeah, I think
my
so.
favorite one yet.
Yeah, I think like if he figures out how to dribble, it's like the dream would be that he becomes Jaylen Brown. Like that's fucking all NBA. But like realistically, he's the third option on a championship team, like OG Anunoby being the defensive maestro while also being like a third option scoring. What do you think of that one, Jackson? After our whole little fucking debate, me and Henry right there trying to figure out a good comp for Bilal.
I'm not gonna watch a Wizards game this year. I'm not the guy to ask.
We're just trying to lose as many games to get Alexander Sarr.
He would be a great fit on this current Wizards.
I know. Someone commented that on my YouTube video last night, and I was like, oh, what a good fucking comp.
Good take.
Good take, yeah.
Chaotic zero YouTube commenters.
Okay, Jackson, you choose. Do you want to talk about the Clippers sucking, Bismack Biyombo and the Grizz? The Mavs are pretty darn good. Or T-Wolves D versus Brandon Podozemski. Also, did Brandon Podozemski suffer like a black eye last night?
He had the bandage.
He had like a goose egg.
Throughout the fourth quarter. I don't know when the injury happened.
Okay, I saw that.
But that dude I'm taking over. That guy almost T-Mac'd the Wolves last night. He came in with a minute to play. The Warriors are pretty much down like 12 throughout the final, like back half of the.
Yeah, I turned off the game because I thought.
He comes in, scores like 8 points in 40 seconds.
No way.
And then he gets a steal, like while they're full court pressing, and then kicks it to Moses Moody, who takes a terrible three, and then Pod goes and grabs the offensive rebound and he misses it. But then if he had got that putback, he would have had 10 points in like 50 seconds, and then it would have been like a 3-point or 2-point game. It was crazy. He brought them all the way back.
That's wild. Yeah, I turned the game off when it was, I think, 12 or 15 points, something like that. I was like, T-Wolves won, and moved in. But that's wild. He was one of the coolest conversations I had. His stock flew up. He's a good kid.
It was off a night where Klay Thompson could not
Dude.
buy a bucket. Klay
Oh
Thompson could not
my-
buy a bucket.
So I'm watching this game. We'll get back to Podozemski, okay? And I'm watching this game, and the commentator goes, Klay Thompson is trying to have a big game tonight as he's trying to work. Dude, Klay Thompson then proceeds to cross this guy over, and instead of like continuing moving through the 3-point line, he decides to go to the step inside the arc and stand behind the free throw line and just take the longest two ever and rims it out. I'm just like. And he goes and proceeds to take the next 2 or 3 possessions. Terrible shots. Terrible. And this is supposed to be Klay Thompson's best season of his career.
Dude, nobody actually says that. But
He said that. He said that on media day.
that's fine. Good
He
for
said that someone asked him, what is your thoughts about not getting a contract extension? He said, well, I'm going to have the best year of my career this season in response.
Well, you wouldn't want him to say anything else.
I mean, if you're going to say it, I hope you back it up.
He also really just he does get in those kind of funks where he isn't making things and then he takes bad shots, but got a steal in transition and he just like smoked the layup. Like you could see him just like losing his cool.
Really, he smoked the layup. I didn't see
He
that.
smoked a transition layup in like a 2-on-1. It was really bad.
Damn. And well, first off, I know last season, Klay Thompson said and you remember he was kind of cold to start last year. He said it was because he had suffered season-ending injuries the last 2 off seasons, and so he spent the whole off season just working out, like lifting weights, and he didn't touch a basketball for like 4 months. He said after they won the championship, and I'm pretty sure he didn't work out. He didn't touch a basketball again. He's basically said that on the off season he doesn't touch the basketball anymore because of PTSD, basically.
Right, that he plays no live games.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, yeah. No live games. He only does shooting and workouts in the offseason. I don't even know if he shoots. I'm pretty sure he just works out, he says. Because of like he's scared because he got hurt both times in live games.
Warriors were 12 of 43 from deep last night. 5 came from Steph.
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Jackson, Warriors boy, Brandon Podozemski, and just the Warriors in general? Should we be? I mean, they're good. I like the team, but what are your thoughts? Any concerns?
Well, yeah, their biggest concern, which got exposed in the playoffs, was they have no size, and then they picked up Chris Paul.
Would you go get booty eater Dwight Howard to help shore that up?
Definitely not, but I'd go out and get somebody else. I mean, they need size. Otherwise, when you play the Grizzlies or the Timberwolves, you're going to get out rebounded and you're going to get out second chanced, and you're going to.
Honestly, why don't they give Nerlens Noel a 10-day when 10 days start in like a month and a half?
I think probably for the same reason nobody just done that the last couple of years.
They gave
So,
Nerlens got a bunch of 10 days last year.
Yeah, I'm all set, but
I will say
Andrew Wiggins is averaging 11. Clay sucks. I mean, there are going to be regular season games where you play big teams, and unless you're on fire, you're just not. They're just not going to win.
Well, that's the big issue to me right now is Wiggins.
Well, I think Wiggins is because his dad almost died last year, and I think off the court, I made a video talking about this. Mitchell Wiggins almost died. I don't know if he's still really sick. I know Andrew Wiggins. You remember he missed like 30 games last year. It's because his dad was like on his deathbed, and supposedly when Wiggins was gone, he dropped 20 pounds in those 30 games because of his dad's because of depression. And
then he came back and balled
yeah, he did ball. But my assumption is, I'm assuming that the health concerns with his father didn't go away, and he probably spent this offseason probably more concerned about his father and his health and it's just his family and being with his family than his basketball in prior years. And I don't blame a guy. I would do the same if I was in his shoes. That's my assumption. Like I couldn't find anything online to corroborate that, but that's just my assumption. If your dad was sick mid-season and you left, when the season ends, you're probably going to spend every waking moment with your dad. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. And yeah, that is bigger than basketball. It's nonetheless an unfortunate thing that the Warriors have to battle as a team right now.
Yeah, exactly. And my assumption is he's just not in basketball like repetition. He's shaking off a lot of rust. All right, can we talk about the Clippers? And I don't get it. Can someone explain it, Jackson or Henry, if you guys can tell me why this isn't working?
James Harden's not a.
But you're a James Harden fanboy, I thought.
Yeah, but I still wouldn't want James Harden on my team right now.
I wasn't very keen on this fit either.
Really? So okay, let me hear both of your takes because I don't get it. I honestly
Russ
thought
should be on the bench.
Or James.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're at that point, but I know what you mean.
Like just one of them. I was just saying. Yeah. So, but honestly, Jackson? Let me hear your take, and then let's hear Henry's. Well, give me your why do you think this doesn't work?
Well, it's almost like they've never played basketball together, so I think that's why it's not working.
I mean, they haven't technically. Paul George and Kawhi.
That's what he means. He's being so.
Oh, you're right.
I think James Harden I don't really know. I don't even know if James Harden's fit with Russell Westbrook and Kawhi Leonard will work. Like as far as personality goes, like
That's a good point.
like they seem like such different people. Kawhi and Harden. Russ is a big family man.
Which is weird to think
Harden
about.
likes to party when he's in a cool town. So I mean, they'll figure it out. The fit's uncomfortable. I think Russ should come off of the bench like Chris Paul does, but I think they'll actually do that eventually.
Henry, what's your
I
thoughts
don't
on
know.
why this isn't working?
I also am not really tweaking about it. I'll preface it because I do think that as they play more together, it will get better.
Okay,
I kind of like that they were able to close with James instead of Russ yesterday. I just think that shooting wise, that's going to make things a lot easier.
that makes
But,
sense.
but I just don't think they have like any rhythm offensively. I kind of agree that locker room wise, it's like a weird dynamic to picture PG, who I don't view as like the most serious killer leader, with James, who is like the polar opposite of Kawhi, and like Russ is kind of his own enigma. Like I just don't really see that as like a veteran like leadership group that I trust for some reason, despite a lot of pedigree there.
Yeah, there seems like a lot of these guys are gonna be like, I don't know them personally, of course, but it seems like because their opinions are so different that they're all gonna try to scapegoat one another when things go wrong and like hold their nose and point at the other one. Be
I
like,
should say that I was pretty encouraged to see like on court little mannerisms yesterday. Like James Harden was going up the PG, and you could see them kind of like mapping out where to play defense and like what they were gonna do on certain plays.
I mean, people forget that Paul George is like a fucking fantastic defender when he wants to.
Well, and I think that James Harden is like a maestro offensively, but man, it's just going to be tough because you already have Ty Lue saying like we want James to be James, and that's going to require him to have the ball a lot, which like to the surprise of nobody, and this happens everywhere James goes. Like it's just hard to accommodate him alongside these other dudes, which is the same problem that Russ has had forever until recently, and now you're making it even harder on him because he has to adjust to a new role again. Like at what point does continuity like
No, I agree
begin
with
to
that.
take
It's,
a
I was
to
about to
take a front
say
seat?
the other thing is like I don't get why they're not going out and getting themselves, Dwayne Dedman or Kem Birch or somebody, because every time Zubats comes off the floor, and I understand that they want to do their small ball lineup, like, and they have PJ Tucker, but there is going to be times where like you can't even play PJ Tucker in that game because like you're playing against the Timberwolves, who are always gonna have a guy who's 6'10" or higher, like or taller, 6'11" taller. There, like PJ Tucker's 6'4", bro. All right, like I'm sorry, he's not getting a rebound over Rudy Gobert. All right, and with Mason Plumlee out for like 2 to 3 months, like they need to go out and get like Dwayne Dedman or somebody to like actually like help him on the boards because especially if you're gonna be playing like you said James Harden ball, they've always had a Clint Capella, a Nick Claxton, a guy who can fucking absorb the offensive boards and kick it back out to the boys to shoot again. So I think there are some flaws, and even like the bench is weird because like I agree. I think Norman Powell should start, but like over Russ. But then outside of Russ, like who the fuck is their bench that's giving them an impact? Bones Highland isn't
Norman
that
Powell.
good.
Which isn't it funny because like a week ago, the narrative was, oh, this is the deepest team in basketball, and it didn't even last like a week.
Yeah, I mean Mason Plumlee getting hurt fucking sucks, but like Amir Coffey hasn't done shit in 3 years. But I don't know. Bones Highland, there's a reason why the Denver Nuggets got rid of him for basically Reggie Jackson.
Will you tilt your camera down again slightly
I think
or scoot back?
PJ Tucker, Terrence Mann, Norman Powell, and Mason Plumlee is more than enough. I
What?
don't think they have any bench issues. I don't think they have any
I don't think
size issues either.
I don't think they have off the bench. Like I think Russell Westbrook off the bench would help be a better like microwave, but I also think they don't have a defensive killer on off the bench. A lot of these teams like you have Gary Payton II.
PJ Tucker,
Yeah, PJ
P-
was good.
No, but like
So,
PJ's not going to go on to the.
Terrence Mann.
I guess yeah, Terrence Mann. Yeah, Terrence Mann. But that's the other thing. Terrence Mann hasn't done shit this year.
I mean, he's not really a statistical
I know, but like
player.
because they got all these players, they can't really play Terrence Mann as much.
right, and he's the loser of that because he can't settle into a role that is like normal for him either.
Exactly, Henry. Like Terrence Mann is now the odd man out. In a weird way, they
Despite
fought
being-
tooth and nail to keep him, but now they can barely play him because they have too many other guys.
I never really understood why he was this huge piece of their.
Because he can play
future.
1 through 4. He's like a Swiss Army knife. That's why.
I mean, they still only played him 23 minutes. He's averaging more this year than he did last year, minute wise. I mean,
No, you're right. You're right. The last 3 games he's been okay. Well, it's probably because I saw the game I watched in Memphis. The times I didn't see the end of the Memphis game, but when I was watching, he was in the game, and then I did not watch the Dallas game, but I watched the Brooklyn Nets game, and he played 19 in the Brooklyn Nets game. So I apologize. Part of this take was from the Brooklyn Nets game 4 days ago. So, and he played 19, but the last 2 games he's played like 30. So.
right, just bringing him back. But I mean, yeah, I still don't really get it that he's this untouchable piece.
I
mean, he's a cool player.
Yeah, he's 27 too. I wouldn't
Untouchable,
have made him untouchable. I mean, they got the trade done without trading him, so kudos to them.
I'm still gonna say that the Clippers are a top 5 seed in the West.
Yeah.
Dude, this is insane. This Florida State team had Trent Forrest, Devin Vassell, Maifondu Kabengele, Terrence Mann.
Yeah, and they were potential like national championship candidates pre-COVID.
Really?
Yeah, they were one of the
Yeah.
best teams in the country that year.
I didn't know they were that deep. Yeah, I'm just looking at that. That is a fucking squad. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
P. Will.
Oh yeah, Pete. Well, was Pete Will a year after that? Or was Pete Will on that team? Did Pete Will won't play one or?
Was not on that.
He was the
national
year
championship
after.
team. The national championship caliber team.
Yeah, that Florida State team was unreal. That's so funny. Wait, let's see who's on this Florida State team. Oh, dude, Raekwon Gray, Trent Forrest, Terrence Mann, Maifondu Kabengele, Devin Vassell, Chris Kumaje. Anthony Polite. Dude, that team's fucking legit. Like, everyone in this team basically went pro and made it. Like, overseas or in the league. Let's do pick'ems. You got anything else you guys want to talk about?
I want to talk about it, but Tyrese Maxey's good.
Let's talk about Tyrese Maxey. 50 points. Wait, you don't want to talk, or what'd he say?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not itching.
Okay, we'll just say Tyrese Maxey, 50 points. Let's do pick'ems.
Sorry, Philly, but I don't care.
It was the first 50 bomb of the game, of the season.
Nah. What about
What?
Levine?
Zach LaVine, Giannis.
Yeah, but they lost. That's why. You can't drop 50 in a loss, and for me to remember.
Yeah,
I gotta do some.
can't knock that.
I still gotta do some pick'em addition for the past few days. I'll do that another time. But for now, we got Wizards and Raptors.
Raptors just so much better than the Wiz.
Rap show. And Knicks and Celtics. It's a good game.
Ooh. Okay, so we talked about this. The size is a problem that the Celtics struggle with. Did the Celtics win their last game?
They
Are they on a win streak? My whole thing has always been Celtics struggle with size, and Mitchell Robinson's a size monster.
Celtics haven't played since their Wednesday loss to Philly. No, they beat Brooklyn in season.
Okay, I think they're gonna. I'm taking Knicks in this one. I think Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle will be too much for Kristaps Porzingis and Al Horford.
I'm taking the Celtics.
Jackson? Celtics.
Bulls and Bucks.
Who's next?
Bulls and Bucks.
Bucks. I don't even need to give you why.
This was a classic in 2008. I'm going Bulls tape.
Supposedly,
Really?
teams are sending their entire scouting departments to Bulls games because teams are at currently monitoring the Bulls because they believe the Bulls will blow it up at any moment. That's actually like a news. Like I made a video on it yesterday. Like supposedly, what's your arena called? The Amway Center, not the Amway, the
United Center.
United Center. Yeah, supposedly there's a bunch of
Amway
yeah. No, Amway's what the Magic plan. The United Center is supposedly being filled with opposing team scouts. And I was looking through the roster, dude. Torrey Craig, Javon Carter are gonna get fucking sought after.
Torrey Craig would be a nice little addition.
That's what I'm saying. Torrey Craig,
Football
Pat
team.
Will, like that team's gonna be gutted. It's gonna be a G League squad by the end of the
Bring
year.
Torrey Craig to the Clippers ASAP.
They gotta take the Bucks.
This is going to be a good game also to close this out. It is Kings and Cavs, and De'Aaron Fox was a full participant in practice yesterday.
I'm taking Cavs. They're back. The Kings haven't figured it out. Wait, there's only 4 games on tonight?
Yeah.
Cavs suck. Go Kings.
It's
gonna
weird
go
that they have
Cavs
4.
also, but I expect this to be a game.
It's gonna be a good game, but it's fucking retarded that we have 4 games on tonight, and yesterday we had 15, and it was NFL football. How does that make sense?
I didn't watch a single game except the Rockets.
That's what I'm saying. You didn't watch a single game. I didn't watch a single game till fucking like 8 o'clock at night. Like, well, I was watching intermediately on my laptop, but like actually turning it fucking on, I didn't do shit.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, like it's so dumb.
Well, I love it on nights like this because Monday's a little busy and I'd love to catch up on basketball.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like if they, put it all up for, I don't even know. You want to do Hoops Grid?
Nah.
No, Pearl?
I mean, I want to play him, but I'm gonna leave.
You gonna leave?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Yeah, that's gonna be the end of the show. You can let the outro loop for a little bit, but that's gonna be it. Be a friend, tell a friend. Jackson, we'll talk later. I'll send you this on WeTransfer.
Oh yeah.
Wait, can we come up with a saying that isn't nearly identical to the Pat McAfee friendship thing?
What?
Goat life.
Yeah, we could take off. Pat McAfee goes, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might save their life.
I just say be a friend, tell a friend, and if you didn't like it, just forget it ever happened.
Outro.
Go live.